Thank you for renting from Jackson Hole Adventure Rentals. This is a walkthrough of the Forest River 16BH, which is a 17-foot bunkhouse. It is a 17-foot box length and a 22-foot total length, which is tongue to bumper. We will be there to help you hook up and answer any questions at that time, but we do ask that you please familiarize yourself with this video as it will answer most of the questions that you have. What we will do is we will go around the outside of the trailer, and then we'll go around the inside of the trailer and all of its functions, and then we will wrap up from there. Okay, on the outside of the trailer, first thing to note is that the awning here is the #1 damaged item. So always remember to think 10 to 12 feet above you. Remember, if there's any trees at your campground, or if you're going to a location where there's maybe park strip trees or something like that, always check to see if the trailer will clear those. If you need to have someone get out and be a spotter, make sure to do that. But remember that that can be damaged very easily just by hitting a tree or a building or something like that. Also, when you're away from the trailer, you want to make sure that the awning is not extended, or if there's any inclement weather or something like that, you don't want wind to come by and break that awning. So going around the outside of the trailer, we'll first start at the front storage area. In here, so when you level the trailer, you level it front to back with the tongue jack, and then side to side with this leveling block. So you put this down on one side of the trailer, and then you pull it up on to this one side, and then that levels the trailer out for you. There is a level in the plastic bin in the cabinet above the sink to help you do that. There is a crank down for the jack, so once you do get it level, you take this crank, and then you've got these stabilizing jacks. These are stabilizing jacks, not leveling jacks. Again, you use the tongue jack to level front to back and a leveling block to level side to side. So these are the stabilizing jacks. So once you've got it leveled, then you go ahead and put these down, and that will stabilize the trailer. Up here we've got your propane tank, and easy turn it on and off with the knob up here. Just make sure that is flowing when you're at your campground, you know, to run the stovetop or anything. You've got your access to your hot water heater. You can access this by pulling this and pulling this out. One thing with this water heater is that if it gets really cold, it will try and ignite to keep itself from freezing. But if you do have it off, or if it's like the propane is off, for example, then there's no propane, so it can't ignite, and then it will give an error on the control panel, which I'll show you. That error you can only clear by turning this off and turning it back on. So the switch here, you turn it off, make sure the propane's going, turn it back on to clear any error code. And then when you shut this, just make sure this grommet lines up right there so it's not cockeyed. You've got your freshwater connection, and you have your city water connection here. So your freshwater is your freshwater tank. You'll run off your water pump. The city water connection is if you have a hose to connect to like a campground, maybe a house or something like that. Down here, you'll see right there is your freshwater drain. So if you want to drain the freshwater, there also, you can't really see it, but there also next to it is a overflow hose. So if you're filling the freshwater tank here, and water starts to run out there, not out of this right here that you can see, but out of another hose, then that just means that you're full. It's overflowing at that point. Got your outside shower, but we ask that you don't use that. We do have your 30 amp connection here. Right down here you've got your 30 amp cord. This will be in your storage area, and then you'll have an adapter. It may not look like this one, but it's a 30 to 15 amp adapter, in case you are running a generator or trying to run off of 15 amp somewhere. Most campgrounds are going to have 30 amps, so just plug in directly. Your connection is right here, so it's your 30 amp connection. So you'll plug in your cord here, and then you can plug in the other side to your connection area. And again, you've got stabilizing jacks on all corners. You've got your sewer connection here. You've got black on the right side and gray on the left side. Black is going to be your toilet, and gray is going to be your shower and sink. And then again, if you're dumping them, you do black first and gray last. Here you've got a door here to access this bottom bunk area, so you got some storage in here too. You got an outside light. It only does work when it's dark, and there's a switch on the control panel to make that work, and a switch on the bottom here. You do have a full-size spare on the back here, and then up here you do have a backup camera, which is really cool. It's not something we can support because you do have to download an app and then connect Bluetooth to your phone to make it work, so we can't support your phone or anything, but if you can get it to work, it is really cool. Yeah, you do have a little leash thing here for if you get a dog or something. That's a connection for that. You've got some outside speakers here. Again, your 12-volt awning. Your power, you do need a 120-volt connection for this to work, so an electricity connection. You've got your exhaust for your heater, so don't touch this if it's going. And then in here, there's nothing in here, so we just ask that you don't use it. It accesses the fridge or the bottom of the sink and stuff, so there's nothing in there, nothing useful, so just ask that you don't use that. These handles are really cool, but just be mindful they can be broken pretty easy. So you push up and then they will swivel, so you can swivel them against the door, and then it holds the door shut. If you're traveling, you're afraid the door might come open, you can swivel these back, and then it's a handle. But if you've got kids, like try and make a jungle gym out of this, it's gonna break it. So I would just be mindful. If that's the case, then I'd just leave it shut if I were you. And then you've got these really cool stairs. I'll show how they work as we go on the inside here. Open this up, and these stairs will be like this when you get here. So they lock on the inside. You've got this blue tab that unlocks them, and then these legs can be extended. So one can be extended farther than the other. If, for example, on the ground here, maybe this side is higher than this side, so this leg needs to be longer than this leg, for example. But you can make it really stable. You don't want it just be hanging there and trying to step on it. It's all floppy. So you can extend these out and in as much as you need to. You just push this button down here, and then you pull on this up or down, and it will slide it, and it will lock into place with these little grooves. So again, you pull this handle, you let this down, you're like, okay, that's good, it's solid, it doesn't have a hump here, or else you won't be able to shut the door. So it's a really cool step, but definitely make sure that you put that back in when you're traveling. So let's go on the inside and finish up there. Okay, on the inside, we'll just start at the front and work our way back. So we do have an upgraded, really nice queen bed at the front. Again, this is a mattress cover. This is not a sheet, so it is a protector for the mattress. So you still want to put a sheet over this. Don't sleep directly on this mattress protector. That's what that is there. These lights, they all work with a button here. So you push the button, light turns on, you push the button, and light turns off. You got some cabinets up here, cabinets, and this cabinet. You do have, also, if you missed this video, or if you didn't have any service, you can't watch this video, then you've got an instruction manual here. Over here you've got your control panel, so it does light up off of motion. Up at the top left, you do have your tank sensor. So you got your freshwater tank, black water tank, and gray water. Fresh is you're just drinking fresh water. Black is your toilet, and gray is your sink and your shower. Just note that the sensors don't work great on these. Definitely black, sometimes gray, because they'll get like a debris stuck on the third sensor, and it will read 2/3 the way full even though it's empty. So just know that those are not perfect. And then if you did quote unquote fill up the toilet, you probably did not fill the black water tank, you probably just clogged the toilet. So we'll go over more of that when we get to the bathroom area. But you also have the sensors for your battery levels. You do have the Bluetooth connection. Here is the QR code you'll scan to download the app and then connect your phone using that to do the backup camera. These are some lights. So this is the awning light, this is the exterior light, which is on the back driver's side, and then your water pump. With the water pump, you want to turn it on use the water feature, and then turn it off. Do not leave this on all the time. The reason why is that if you left the water pumps on, a line breaks, then the water is just going to keep pumping, and it could eventually just flood the trailer. So you definitely want to make sure that this is not on all the time, that it's off most of the time. It's only on when you're using it. Then you've got your 12-volt awning that works off the battery, so retract and extend. Again, with the awning, make sure that it is retracted when you're away from the trailer or you're asleep or something like that, so there's no damage to it. You got your dinette area here, and this will make down into a bed. So what you do, and just be gentle with this, don't yank this off or anything because you can break it, but you will take these legs off here. So you'll pull this part off, you'll take these legs off, and you can just lay them down here. And then there's this ledge here on both sides here, and then you put this on the ledge. Just make sure it is sitting flush. There's actually some Velcro that will match up on this and on the ledge. So make sure that matches up, and then you take the cushions and you push them together, and that makes this dinette into a bed. Over on this side, you've got your sink. It's a really nice stainless steel sink, and your faucet here. You do have a 2-burner stovetop. First thing you want to make sure of is that you remove this glass. So raise the glass first by sliding it up like that. If you do start it with that glass down, it will break the glass. And then to light it, it's fairly simple. You just push it in, and you can hear it spark. You push it in, and then you turn it to high. There you go. It lights. Then you turn it off. So really simple. You'd have a light here if you want to use that like night light or something. Microwave works like any other microwave in any house. You do need a 120 volt or like a generator to run this. It does not run off the batteries. You do have your range hood, so you've got your fan and your light here. Your heater is down here, so that's where the heat's going to come out for the heater. And then over here is your thermostat for the heater. So really simple operation. Far to the left is off, and then if you want it on, you turn it to the right, and then you've got your temperature down here. So it's reading like 82 degrees or something is the ambient temperature inside here right now. And then you just want to set it up here on the line. So this is a thermostat, not a temperature gauge. If you crank it all the way to warmest, it's just going to keep blowing until it overheats, and then it will trip the furnace. So don't do that. Just set it to the desired temperature, like 70 degrees, and it will turn on and off as needed, just like a thermostat in your house. And then turn it off, push it all the way to the left. You push it, and then there's a little bit of a click there. Up here, you've got your radio here. So you're on, off, and then there's Bluetooth and connections and everything, and that will run through all of the speakers. Something that we can't support, but if you can get it to work, then it should work. But that's how you work the radio there. You have the voltage of your batteries, so that's kind of status there. You do have an AC right here that again will only work off 120 volt or 4,000 or more watts of a generator. This does not have a heater on it, so just completely disregard the red side of this. You're only worried about the blue side. So you've got off, you've got high cool, low fan, you've got all these. So you'll set it to, for example, low cool or high cool, and then you'll set there's a little arrow right here, you'll set the temperature of the cold here. So just pay attention to the blue side. Again, disregard the red side. And you got a couple speakers up here. We've got our fridge here, which is a really cool fridge. These are really, really nice fridges. They're 12 volt DC fridges, so they work off the batteries. They also will work off of 120 volt too, so plug in, but really good fridges. I recommend that you just leave, this is the temperature setting for the freezer. Probably best to just leave it in the middle there. But how to turn it on and off here, the settings are right here. So if this is blinking, it's off. So I don't know if you see this on the video, but it says hold 10 seconds on off. So you hold this down. And what we'll want to do is we'll want to just set this to only 3 or 4. If you set it to 5, then it will end up getting so cold that it'll freeze the fan, and then it will either shut off and you'll have to pull the fuse to reset it, or it'll just blow warm air because you froze the fan, and so it can't really produce any cold air. So again, 3 or 4 is good. With these, just be patient with them. You know, if it's 100 degrees outside and you're trying to get things cooled down, it's going to take a while. It's going to take many, many hours, sometimes even overnight. So just be very patient with these. These do work very well, but they do take time to cool down. Also, only put cold or frozen items in these. Don't load this up with a bunch of warm pop and expect it to cool down. So to turn it off here, you just hold this down. Again, this button is not, well, yeah, go ahead and hold this down. A button is not like super hard to push, so just, you know, hold it. You don't have to really push on it super hard. And there you go, it's off. We got our bunks over here, so top and bottom. Down here, you do have a battery disconnect, so, you know, see how all the lights went off on us? And then that's connecting the battery. So if someone flipped that or removed that, it's not gonna, you know, work anything in the trailer. Right here, you've got your propane gas detector, and so do not cover that or spray aerosol around it. It will go off if you do that, so just be mindful of that too. And then over here, you've got your fuses. This is your converter. So you got breakers and fuses if you need to access those. And then we've got our bathroom here. You got your toilet. And again, as I noted, you can unfortunately clog RV toilets pretty easily. That's not this trailer, that's all RVs, just the way they're designed. If you don't flush them thoroughly, then they can clog. So I've never seen a black water tank filled, but I have seen many clogged toilets. So if it does get, you know, all the way full up, you clogged it. You didn't fill the black water tank. So I know it sounds gross, but the only way to clear that is you do have to get a stick or something, and you just have to push it down and dump a bunch of water on top of it to clear it out. So that's pretty much how that's done. You do have your shower here, and you do have an on-demand water heater like I showed you. So you've got your on-off button here. Like I said, if there is an error of some sort, this will beep and it will say the error, like E1. And the only way to clear that is on the water heater itself. You need to turn it off and turn it back on. You can adjust this to be Celsius or Fahrenheit, and then whatever desired temperature you want. We do recommend that you set it at 110 to 115 degrees. If you set it higher than that, you're just gonna have to mix it with cold water. So over here with the shower, again with the tank, the freshwater tank and the water heater, just know that you can go through water very quickly, and so the best thing to do is just to get in, get wet, turn it off, lather up, turn it back on and rinse off, and then be done. And you're not going to be able to take showers like at your house, because you do go through a way more water than you think you do, and you will blow through the water in the freshwater tank really quick. And also note that the water heater, there is a delay in getting the hot water to you, so just, you know, keep that in mind when you're turning it on and turning it off. And that is a walkthrough of the trailer. And again, thank you for renting from Jackson Hole Adventure Rentals, and I hope you enjoy your vacation.